Okay, I'm going to whiz through actually recording some voice for podcast using Audacity, which is some free Windows software. Here it is, Audacity, up on my screen. It's stopped. I've currently got plugged in a little USB. It's a no-name little USB device that just takes stereo headphones and stereo microphone, which is what I'm using. So the device is here. Got my USB audio and USB out, so I can hear this on my headphones. So here's my audio setup, the no-name USB converter, analog to digital converter. The microphone, that's a Sony ECM 717. It was pretty good quality at the time. I got it to go with a mini disc player, if you remember those. It's still going strong. It's got its own little battery and an inexpensive set of headphones that I picked up on eBay for not very much. So that's the physical equipment I'm using. So first of all, I'm going to do a little recording. Hit the record button and do my podcast. And welcome to my podcast. Pleased to have you back for another week's listening. So that's recorded the audio. Let's see what happens when we play that back. You can see the wave's very small, so it'll be a bit quiet. And I don't quite know what Cam Studio is going to do while I'm playing this on Audacity and it's recording, but we shall see. And welcome to my podcast. Pleased to have you back for another week's listening. So there you go. It was a bit quiet, so the first thing to do in Audacity is to select that window. We come up to the effect and we normalize it. DC off, this doesn't really matter, it's not going to affect this, but if your microphone isn't set up right, sometimes this way will be off and that will auto correct it, doesn't matter. Normalize amplitude. So this is 0 dB, means basically maximum volume. I'm not sure why it's negative, etc., but 0 is maximum volume. Normalize stereo channels. Well, we're only recording mono, so this doesn't matter. And we're going to go OK. And you can see now the wave's a lot higher. And in fact, the flat in between has got a lot higher as well. So let's just listen to that again. And welcome to my podcast. Pleased to have you back for another week's listening. So the volume's a lot better, but we've got a lot of hiss. So we're going to get rid of that hiss now. Select this. Just make sure that is only hiss. Yeah, there's no clicks or other noises. That is just the hiss. To get rid of that, we go up to the effects, noise reduction, get noise profile, and that's analyze that bit of noise. Audacity knows what the noise looks like. Now we can select the whole thing and we go back to the effects, noise reduction. These settings, I'd set these up from somewhere in the past, I can't quite remember where, but noise reduction 10, sensitivity 9, smoothing band 6, seems to work. So that's OK, and you can see this has got a lot flatter in between that noise, so let's listen again. And welcome to my podcast. Pleased to have you back for another week's listening. So there you go, that's a lot cleaner. And now what we're going to do, this is currently selected, and we can do File, Export Selected Audio. So that'll only export what's selected. If we've got lots of tracks in the windows, it won't mix them down. So I'm going to export this. Here's some stuff I was messing around with earlier. I'm going to save this again as final audio demo. Pops up some details here for the MP3 file. That's fine, so I'll just save that. And that's the recording. And what I will do is I'll attach the final recording onto the end. I'll just leave this to run for a while so I've got some space to splice it in. And welcome to my podcast. Pleased to have you back for another week's listening. So there you go. That's how to take a basic recording in Audacity and produce an MP3 which you're going to use for your podcast.